sometimes I'll like have my earbuds and listen to podcasts and stuff, but sometimes
I
I like
wouldn't do it. I
just.
wouldn't do it.
Just get in the zone.
Or yeah, sometimes I like not having anything.
And then going
That's
around,
what I
like 10
enjoy,
days and
just
stuff.
wait till about last minute when you try to upgrade, because that's when you
Yeah,
get a chance.
just listening
That's
to
what I was
it.
going to ask if it was a
I
good
have
sport
to
time
stop.
to get that upgrade.
It's just my second.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it any other way,
I
I swear,
was
because
talking on Sunday.
that's what I was telling
when I was
somebody. I mean,
gonna
we're ready
walk
to,
around the
especially,
civic
or at
center
least do
down
the
to go to
first,
the
to the
Greenway.
business class.
And I just
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Get a little more
spaced
stuff.
out to, and when
Jerry,
I
you get your
like
own
started
key.
paying
So
attention
those are
again,
like
I'd walked all
Jerry
the way
got
down the bridge and I was around the backside of Westwood.
You were kidding.
No.
It's time.
Oh, it's time.
Okay, good morning. This time we would like to welcome everyone to the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. The first item of business will be the minutes of the August 5th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, we entertain a motion to approve as written
So moved.
and dismissed with reading. Have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we'll move right into our next item, and this is property located at the corner of College and Donnell. It's for a special exception. Sean, you want to bring us up to date before we get
Yeah, so
into
the
this?
request is for a special exception for a multi-use building on that property. And so the applicant is here to answer any questions you have on that proposal as well.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you want to come forward and tell us a little bit about this?
The applicant? Okay. Philip is here to speak about it. Philip is the applicant.
Okay, so just a quick overview. What we're looking to do on this property is to put in a two-story building. The height will be somewhere between 28 and 30 approximately. The ground floor will be two commercial pods that will allow for commercial space. Above that will be two condos. The condos just will be around 1,300 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It will include an elevator. It will include a balcony on the front for the residents who buy it. And we're kicking around the numbers right now to see if an observation deck on the back part of the building overlooking back towards downtown will be feasible. So on the ground floor, we're looking to either solicit office or retail space. We have an interested party who would like to bring in a bookstore / coffee shop and a / art gallery possibly. Occupy about 1,100, 1,200 square foot of the space down below. And then the other side will be open for other office or retail, whoever we can advertise and secure. We're not looking at doing anything in the venture of, well, let's just say it. We're not going to do a vape shop. We've got like, 16 of those already. Don't really feel like it fits the area. There's a place for everything. This area where we are is predominantly office area. We've got Dr. Noblin, who's 2 doors down from us. We've got Mr. Bryant, Mrs. Bryant on the corner lot there where he used to practice law. Jason Cripps has done a really good job fixing up and restoring Bud Sharp's place. So we want to do something that ties into the area, and that pretty much is either going to be office or retail space. But so that's kind of a general overview of the project. We think there is going to be a demand for more condos as individuals in the area start to downsize, retire, whatnot. And I think we can start off with 2 and see how that works for the community. But this will definitely be a development that the people, the residents on the street, the people of the city will be proud of.
Okay. Any board members have any questions?
What is the square footage of that lot? How big's that lot over there?
I think it's what, 8,000 square feet, maybe a little bigger.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Okay.
And so is there enough room for, if you've got, I assume, a couple
So it says almost
vehicles
2
for
acres.
each?
Is it almost 2 acres?
No, it's
No.
about 0.34.
No, it's that one.
Is there enough room for parking for everybody, or is it gonna be like,
not that
or
one.
it's coming directly onto the street
Oh,
or
okay.
any of that?
Okay.
No, there'll be plenty of parking. The second part of this request is to ask for a variance. We're looking to have a minimum of 28 feet on the back of the lot. and then about 22 on the front, which is going to be the reason we asked for a variance on the front part of this. But there's enough room in the back to allow for parking spaces for the residents who are going to be purchasing the property. On College Street and on Donnell Street, we'll have 22 and 30 feet, and there'll be plenty of room for parking along the side for the commercial part. The building, the reason why we're asking for a larger variance on the back side of the building is that we can funnel the owners of the building into the back part of the building for one, security, but also for traffic control. We're going to make a through drive that will actually come out onto Donnell Street. And so you come in on College, you park, you go in, ride the elevator up, go in your unit. When you leave, you go out on Donnell Street. But all the commercial parking will be on the perimeter.
And they would, of course, there'll be a site plan with your
Yes.
permit and everything.
Yeah,
at that time.
And we've met on site and discussed the parking and all that and make sure, and then once we get application for the building, we're confirmed that the parking will be satisfied with that as well. Until we get that exact dimensions and all that, it's.
So which way is this building facing? Is it facing?
It's going to be facing Donnell Street.
Yep.
And we've looked at it multiple ways. We looked at it facing College Street. We looked at it facing Donnell Street. We actually looked at putting it diagonal facing the corner. And facing Donnell Street gives us the most width for the building, but also the depth for making nice rectangular units. Each unit will be 36 by 36. So we'll have a total of about right at 4,900 square feet, including top and bottom, around 2,600 square feet down below.
I guess my question is, what's the reason for the variance request?
We'll get into that in the next section.
That's the next phase of this.
This, we
Okay.
need to get through the special exception and then get into the variance.
But I have an
Okay.
answer to your question.
Okay.
This is a use that is permitted on appeal.
On appeal on the special exception for section 145053G.
Well, and let me also add too, this is a great corner. I know it's not, it doesn't have as much room as what we would like to have, but as Joey knows, I'm notorious for trying to put a square peg in a round hole. I've done it 4 times already, and it worked. It looks good, and it's something that most people are proud of. Some people don't like it, but I think that's pretty much just normal. I would like to have a bigger lot, but we just don't have that. There's not a whole lot of space like this. I would consider this prime property because you're smack dab on the corner. You've got visibility off of Chancery Street. You've got good visibility there on Donnell Street. College Street is a popular street. But the thing about the residential is that when I was down at Autumn Street Fair this past week, I was sitting on the other side of the courthouse waiting for my daughter to be dropped off, and I looked down and I can see the lot. So you can walk directly uptown. You're right there on the square.
I think facing Donnell will be a big plus for it because you've got so much more frontage and probably fit the area better.
Yeah, it was 117 feet on frontage off of Donnell Street, 86 feet coming up on College Street. So it sounds like a lot of room, but it's not.
So if I understood right, you're gonna set it back, you're gonna be on the front, you're gonna be 25 foot, is that what you said from the road? The front?
Well,
22 foot.
we'd like to have 20 feet, but we can make 22 work with the parking on the back.
So then you'd be asking for 8 foot of variance, is that right?
Yeah, we'll get, like I said again,
Yeah.
let's
But see,
get through the special exception.
We're gonna
then we'll
get into
to the
that
variance.
next.
Sorry.
They tie in, but.
If it's not approved here, then that's irrelevant, it wouldn't
Yeah.
matter. This is just, this request is for the special exception that he could build it. The next phase of this will be all the setbacks, at that point, we can get in and discuss all
Right,
that.
I was just looking, it would fit on the lot and meet the setbacks if it was moved back, correct, or no?
It could be, like I said,
Yeah.
I think these folks are here for this matter, so.
more questions? We're gonna open this up for the audience to comment. Do we have any more questions? Okay. At this time, if you'd like to comment for or against this, come forward, state your name, where you live, and tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you for letting me come up and speak. My name is Betsy Bryant, and I'm the owner of 116 and 118 College Street, which is right across the street from the property that we're discussing. And I'm here to voice opposition to the multi-unit retail portion of this, particularly the retail portion. And my reasons being that this is a little side street. It's very busy, not only with the residents that live there, but the 2 law offices that are there. It's used as a cut-through also for people going from like to the church and then over to the high school, and to avoid the traffic light on Morford Street, not to mention highs. So we have traffic there almost every day. Secondly, it's the parking. I think that is probably one of the largest issues. And there's just not any parking. I mean, Dan's office, the Baptist Church has graciously for years let us park in their parking, their parking spaces over there, because there's very, very limited parking on this street. So any type of retail, in my opinion, it would have to park on the street, which is going to decrease the visibility of pedestrians that are walking, decrease the visibility of the vehicles that are going through there. If they're turning onto Donnell, then, it's going to cause a problem. So those are my reasons for opposing this. I'm not for opposing change, and I'm really not opposing a condo situation. It's mostly the retail portion. I just don't see a retail on that corner. And plus the extra traffic and parking that would bring to the corner. So thank you for letting me have the opportunity.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else want to comment on this, for or against? This is your time to speak.
Is this just to kind of clarify with everyone, is this kind of the thought of the general consensus of the other people over here, is that this is something that is hard parking wise, traffic's the issue over on that street?
I think parking is a big
Okay.
issue, yes.
See, that will be addressed in the next phase of this. If this part was to be approved, then it will get into the next phase, and if that was to be approved, he will have to submit a site plan with parking, or else he wouldn't get a permit. So the parking is not really, he can't park on the street, it's got to be contained. He'd have to come up with a design that it would be self-contained, just like you have parking at your law office. He will have to show parking, adequate parking for his tenants and customers and whatever. I don't think he's proposing a large retail on that part.
We've been over there looking at the property for a couple weeks now, and people park on the street as it is. I mean, they're not parking in the driveways, they're parking on the streets, and sometimes it gets down to maybe 10, 12 feet in between through traffic, because you've got some people parked at where John Shields' house is on the street. You got people parked across the street, the person who lives right behind, I think who rents, they park on the street. I know we'll get to this.
Access title is always on the street.
Oh, well, yeah, Access Title, they were there, they're always on the street, and, their house, I mean, I know this is not relative, but it is relative in the sense that house was built back before codes were established, and setbacks were established, and it's only 18 feet off the road. So, they do have parking on the side, but that's, the road that we were too. That corner will be 30-foot setback, which meets the zoning setback. So, our customers won't be parking on the street. They'll be parking in parking spaces.
Is this part of is this historic district?
No.
No?
No, this is outside of the H1.
Are any of the surrounding properties multi-use buildings?
Yes. Most of them are R2, R5. You've got,
But
I believe-
do they have like mixed use is there existing buildings like this where you've got commercial on the ground floor and residential on top?
No.
No, not in that area, there's not.
But in R5.
Yeah, the
it could-
requirement is permitted. There's
could
a
be.
mixture of commercial and residential use in the area, but not necessarily in
But
the
not in-
combination of the
In
building.
the same,
If he wasn't asking for a setback, would he even have to do anything to get
The
this?
special exception, yeah,
Yeah.
under R5, this requires a special exception.
That's why we're doing it
Special
first, to get
exception.
this.
I understand. I was just making sure.
So I've heard from other residents that couldn't be here today, candidly, that were against this for the same reasons that Ms. Bryant stated, just the traffic. And you kind of alluded to it, if it's already very busy over there, I think the other residents are worried that this will just compound a problem that already kind of exists for this situation.
just out of curiosity, the folks that you heard from, you don't have to tell me who, I don't care, but are they homeowners and property owners, or are they renters?
homeowners.
I think that's the fear, and I guess that's the purpose of making this go through. The special exemption is for the area, right? To be able to do this. My fear is that it does compound a problem that is already an issue on that street. And in R5, it can be residential still. It could be two 1,300-foot duplexes or condos, I guess is the way to say it. But the mix is the issue. And there's no control as soon as it's allowed to be commercial use on the bottom floor, then after it's passed through this, there's no control over what commercial uses can go in there.
There is some limitations on what commercial uses can go in there, because R5 is a mixture of commercial uses and residential, so it's not like a standard C1 or C2 zone district with a lot more uses. There is some limitations.
So there are
on those-
quite a bit of control on
uses.
what can go in there.
So did, like, for instance, the Bryants, did they have to get an exception whenever y'all put the law office in, or no?
Got an exception it was R1 for R2
Okay.
for the office. I think 118 that's the office, 116 is still
Residential.
Still R1.
Well, and.
So certain commercial uses can happen without a special exception. The multi-use building, apartments, those type of things fall into that special exception program.
Well, and
So
she
like the
stated
law
she's-
office wouldn't
She's
necessarily
not
require a
objecting
special
to the
exception.
residential part.
Yeah.
She's objecting to the commercial
To
part.
the retail part.
Retail
Like you
part.
say, once that's approved, then, I'm not saying might be a vape shop or anything else, but once that's approved, then anything can happen.
Well, unfortunately, the needs of the city are, residential is fine, but, we've seen what's happened to the Blue Building project. And so residential right now is not in demand. There is demand for retail. How many clothing stores do we have now? What, 12, 14 in city limits? There is demand for commercial. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of commercial that's available without a major price tag. And then you have to worry about running into rents per square foot and trying to attract somebody who will pay the rent per square foot in the area that will support it. So, and, let's not talk about retail, let's talk about office. What if we put an office there, would that be an objection? I'm just saying, residential's fine, but residential is majorly depressed in this town and in this county right now, and commercial is in demand. So, right now we have a lot that is a really nice lot, and it's useless. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to put something in that everybody's gonna be proud of, and give people an opportunity to lease space to bring more commercial to this town, for the tourists and for the residents. So, when I talk about parking, we talk about parking, that's fine. We'll hit our setbacks on the side, 30 feet, you won't even see the cars as you're coming down the street. They will be hanging out in the road. But I think we ought to give this a fair shake, because we don't have a lot of commercial space. Those of you who have commercial space, that's great. That's just my opinion.
Do we have any more questions or comments? Sean, you want to comment any more on this? Can
Yes,
you
so with
clear
the-
up any?
With the criteria under 14505.3G, off-street parking requirements are met. I said a base review, it appears that those will be met. We'll confirm that at site plan. If they aren't met at site plan, he's not going to be able to proceed forward with the building unless changes are made to meet those. The other requirements is the minimum square footage for the units. That'll be met. All municipal building and fire codes shall be adhered to. That'll be confirmed at the time of the building application. And the last one under that is all new residential construction shall meet the minimum lot area width and yard requirements for the R3 high-density residential. That one does not apply because this isn't going to be solely just apartment units or anything of that. And then section 14708.2D, governing special sections, is designed, located, and proposed to be operated so that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. It will not adversely affect other property in the area. It is within provisions of uses permitted on per mil, and it conforms to all the provisions of the zoning code for which is to be located. So that's the criteria that you guys would be reviewing against and for meeting that.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Okay, we need a motion on this to approve it or not for special except. This is not concerning parking or anything of that nature. It
Can I
is.
ask one more question, Jerry?
Sure.
Can we get a list of those commercial allowed uses? If this were a multi-use building, can we see what actually would be allowed as commercial use in that? Because I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that's also a concern. If it's going to be office space, then I think that's one thing. But I think what I'm hearing is that, and Philip is the one who said it, if it's going to be a vape shop, that's something else.
Okay, so right here are the permitted uses. So you have single-family dwelling, two-family attached dwellings, excluding mobile home, accessory apartments, and single-family. Limited retail businesses such as dress shop, florists, gift shops, stationery stores, antique shops, arts and craft supplies, and beauty and barber shops. Bed and breakfast establishments and tea rooms, professional offices for doctors, lawyers, architects, accountants, engineers, insurance agent, real estate agents, surveyors, and the like. That's it, television, radio, antennas, but that's when if it was tied to a radio thing and getting and all that. So
Okay.
those are the retail uses and commercial uses that would be permitted in that zone district.
Okay.
So that could include like I'm just throwing it out because I don't know and I'm just asking a question. But could that be like?
We can't come forward.
Okay.
We can't hear you, and we have to
Okay.
record all
I'm
this.
just asking a question on like retail. I mean, would that be like a payday loan place? Could that fall into that category that you're speaking of?
No, so if you're reading it, the limits of retail uses such as dress shops, that type of stuff, that doesn't fall within that perimeter of uses such as.
Mm-hmm.
And so a payday loan place or anything that would not fall into that.
Sean, what recourse would
Thank you.
adjacent property
you.
owners have if a proposed, retail space were to be moving in there that the adjacent property owners didn't think conformed to this code of permitted uses? What recourse would they have?
They could come up and talk to us, and then we could go from there. We can go through it again. If this doesn't fall into this, that retail's not going there.
Okay.
It'll be, that's pretty clear cut and dry. And so on that, they could also come back to this board and appeal. There's different methodologies to make sure. But again, if it's not within that 14502.2C or 14505.2E, any uses outside of that would not be permitted in that space.
And to do anything different, it would have to get another special exception, basically, to be able
No,
to. Oh, it can't even.
Exception
Okay.
because
So it is
there's
protected
nothing-
from future changes.
That's it. The
Okay.
limit on the uses for the commercial aspect are just those two. That's it. Well, three if you want to do the bed and breakfast or tea room. But that would be the only uses that would be permitted.
Do you have any more questions, anyone?
This board cannot approve any use variance to allow for uses that's not permitted in that zone district, so.
Okay.
Okay, we have a request. Do we have a motion? What's the feeling of the board? I think part of the commercial part will be controlled because there won't be a lot of parking. You're not going to get a commercial tenant in there that requires a lot. I see, to me, more like an insurance agent or attorney or something like this, possibly, maybe an art studio or something of that nature that doesn't require a lot of parking.
So, Jerry, can I say something?
Yeah, come forward and come with your.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong. Permitted uses, bed and breakfast. I don't even have to come up here and get a special exception. Is that correct?
To do bed and breakfast, no.
Okay, so I could put a bed and breakfast up there. I can put parking all around it. But I don't think a bed and breakfast is what Camilla needs. But I'm just stating the fact, if we're concerned about what's gonna go in there, Mrs. Bryant brought up, payday loan, that's predatory lending. We're not gonna put that up there. And it doesn't go with the area. I mean, let's get real. But I could do a bed and breakfast. I could park cars all in that area. Right? Right? Okay, well, that's fine. We just put a bed and breakfast up there and we'll just park cars in there and then we'll have the same problem with that, with the traffic and the cut-throughs and everything that we have with something that could be a lot more special. That will do a lot better for the city. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. This is a good lot. It needs to be used for something.
So those are the permitted uses. What we're voting on is multiple uses in one building.
Yes.
Like condos above, which you can build on Main Street.
Yeah, I was a little confused too. So they can still do any of these that's permitted,
Yes.
but he just can't have, but he couldn't have a mixed use, right? Correct?
Yes. That's correct.
So it's not like, the only thing that we're doing is just
In
putting
this
living space
portion
in
of it,
that.
right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Where he can do that, and then we'll move on to the parking if, depends on the motion here, I guess.
Depending on how you want to look at it, it's that multi-use, the apartments up above, so it's approving the two uses combined, because single-family detached and two-family attached dwellings, so that'd be a duplex. So the units up top are an approved use in and by themselves, and then the limited retail down below would be approved by site. But the combination of the two requires a special exception.
And so is the idea behind this just to maximize the revenue stream from the property?
No. has nothing to do with
The
revenue
multi-use?
stream. Has nothing to do with the revenue stream, because the condos will be sold off.
Okay.
And so we're providing folks that want to buy a condo, live in downtown, listen to Main Street Live from the rooftop, enjoy downtown living, we're gonna provide that. The retail, it will be self-sufficient. We're not here to ask for maximum usage in order to, get the amount of rent or whatever we need to fund the note. If we do it right, we probably won't even have a note on the commercial. What we're trying to do is we're trying to take a property, we're trying to maximize the use, not only from residential, because we can hit a niche market instead of trying to build for the mainstream, but we can also provide commercial, which we really need in this town, because what I hear from most people I talk to is, well, we've got housing, we have nothing for people to do in town. They walk the waterways, they walk the trails, they do all that kind of stuff, but we need more. We need more of things for people to do. People talk about me wanting a sandwich shop. People, and I don't even know if that's permitted there, but I'm just throwing this out there to you. So I also talked to Todd Noblin yesterday because he was kind of on the fence about it. And when I explained the project to him, he was very, for the project. He thanked me for calling him. He said it thinks it'll tie in great, and he thinks it would look really good. So we're not trying to maximize money. That's not an issue. The issue is that we don't have any places to build anymore, unless you tear something down. Now, we did look at another piece of property that would require us to tear down a perfectly good building to do what we wanted to. But the building wasn't set up and it wasn't engineered what we needed. What we needed was something that was already, vacant. If y'all can point out another lot that we could get for a fair price and not have to tear anything down, I'm all ears. But this is a good spot. And right now you got grass sitting there. It's doing nothing. And so I understand the traffic, I understand all this. This town's gonna have, this is off the topic, this town's gonna have a major traffic problem when Joel puts all those people in the condos and when Raven rents these units. Because traffic, if you come through on a school day up off of Chancery Street, you're sitting there. If you don't get there before 7 o'clock, you're sitting down the road by aluminum vinyl. It's the busiest intersection in the world, and I love it because I own the building on the corner. Everybody sees it. So, it's an unusual request, but it maximizes the space, it maximizes the possibilities. Money's not an issue.
Thank you, Phil. Okay, come forward.
Well, I guess my biggest concern is the retail portion of this. Once again, I understand, wanting to put something in. College and Donnell is not really a retail area. It's mostly residential, church, dentist office, that kind of thing. And I think on North Chancery, there's areas that are much more presentable for the type of retail that he is speaking of, that where parking would be available and would fit in that area more likely. A condo, I think, or whatever you want to call it, on that property might be totally fit in with the area, and parking would not be a problem at that point. It would fit in with the residential part and just the beauty of an old street. I just hope that we can keep that street. It's not historical, but it is historical in a way. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I think too that there's nothing, you can do retail without this. There's nothing we could do if we wanted to stop retail from happening down there. I think it's kind of where this comes back to. It's the 2 apartments above it, or 2 condos above it. We can do absolutely nothing. If you want to put retail, we couldn't stop it. I think what kind of this comes down to is, does the mixed use improve the area, or is it going to detract from the street? Is kind of.
Can I respond? I don't mean to interrupt you. Here's a rendering. We don't have it drawn up by an architect yet, but we're in the process of getting it drawn up. The commercial space will be below, the condos will be above. This is something that we're considering. Now, we're not dead set on this, but this is the kind of development we're looking at building. We're not looking at building something you'll see in Nashville that's got lights all over the place.
Did you see it, Joey?
Yes, I've seen it.
This is going to tie in to this area. Okay. Number 2. I'm just going to sit down. This is a great project we've got going on. I've done a lot in the city. I've cleaned up a lot of stuff. I've never made anything look bad. People complain because people complain. But the stuff that I've done, Sedbury, Sparta Street, Spring Street, Lance Street, it's all been good, it's all been well built, and it's all provided places for people to live. So, I'll put my resume up against anybody at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that what, and just speaking for myself personally, on the board, we have to look at the approval criteria and what is laid out. And, I lean pretty heavily on Sean's staff recommendations. From his staff report and from these general provisions that govern special exceptions and the approval criteria for the 145053G. And based on the permitted uses that are already in the R5 zoning, I'm going to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion.
So we're just approving the mixed use, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? There being none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay. Now we'll move into the next phase of this. And this is for the setbacks. And Sean, I guess, won't you update us just a little bit on
Okay, so
exactly what the request is and what it would entail?
Okay, I know these folks will be able to see it, but, so originally we were looking at a setback variance from off of College and Donnell. Me and Philip both met, this one will be maintained off of College, so that'll meet the 30 feet that is required. He is requesting that to be 22, 23 feet off of Donnell. The reason for that is, as he's talking earlier, with the placement of it, that allows access along the backside for that residential. And so that creates a driveway, that helps with the traffic flow in anything in that area. That would improve it, having that where the residential is kind of separated in the back from the parking or the traffic flow to the retail side on the bottom, if that makes sense. So that's what's stemming the request, is to make that in there. So it's not really gonna be, it's not a variance that's gonna be from this. The minimum's gonna be exceeded on that side yard setback or that rear yard setback. Those will be exceeded. It's just shortening that front a little bit to widen that, then kind of counteract that, widening that back to get in there. I've looked where the traffic sign is. If we keep within that 23 foot range, then those that pull up to that stop sign at College on Donnell should be able to have clear vision for oncoming traffic coming down Donnell Street.
Okay.
Is the 23 foot gonna be, is that gonna be parking spots also, or?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna put the parking spots on a diagonal basis. And that way it allows for people to come in and out on Donnell Street. We'll do the same thing on College Street. So, it goes with the flow of the traffic instead of trying to go against the traffic. Also, as Sean was saying, that the residents will be able to go around the back and come out onto Donnell Street and have access both ways to make, easy to make a right-hand turn, but also safe to make a left-hand turn. So we can kind of control the traffic of the residential.
Okay.
So, is the setback variance necessary because of the size and dimensions of the building?
No, it is for the parking only in the back. The building would fit within the confines of the variance, 30 foot on the front, 20 on the back. But we're asking for a reallocation from the front yard and the backyard to allow for traffic for the residents and for them to be able to park easier without hitting the building.
Probably employees would park in the rear also, possibly.
Correct. So,
See, that gives him a flow. He can do it without the variance, but it would interfere with his parking, if I'm reading this right, his parking design.
that's correct.
Which that would come in on the site plan before we get a permit anyway.
Yes. far as placement in the building, it could be without the variance. It's to increase and help with that flow and the parking on the rear of it.
So if we give 23 feet on the front, parking space would be somewhere between 16, 17, call it 18 feet. So you're still gonna have 5 feet between the building and the end of the parking space. A Toyota Camry is 16 feet long. So they'll be able to get 1 to 2 feet off the road. We'll have plenty of space between the building. The building will be slab built. There will be no stairs. So we'll have a sidewalk. The sidewalk that's there will continue. And then we'll have just a step into the commercial space. So, and on the side where I know we have funerals that come down through there, we got 30 feet. So on the side, the cars will be, there will not be any issue with funerals going through there because we're gonna put the building 30 feet back. So again, if we have 5 feet in between, you'll have 25 feet of parking, or 25 feet length there for parking, which, going back to the Camry, you've got 9 feet that'll just be excess there.
Yeah, that's a good design, I think. Do we have any more questions?
I just take a little bit of issue with the criterion A, because what I'm hearing is that the particular physical surrounding, shape, or topographic conditions of the specific property involved would result in a particular hardship upon the owner as distinguished from a mere inconvenience, if the strict application of the zoning resolution were carried out. So I guess the issue that I take with this is that it does kind of sound like it's not a particular hardship. The parking situation creates an inconvenience, not a particular hardship.
Right?
And that's the,
It will create a hardship for the folks that buy the condo because they'll hit the building. I mean, that would be a hardship to me. And honestly, it's a hardship, it's a space limitation. So, I mean, we can look at it however we want to. But the more, we're not asking for a variance because we can't build what we need for cost effectiveness or financial solvency. We're talking about making more room on the back and the front to allow for traffic flow, which was a big concern with the board earlier, about 10 minutes ago about the traffic on that street. So to me, it is a hardship that we're trying to overcome. And we're not trying to provide a hardship to those we sell it to. We're trying to provide ease of entry and exit for those who buy the condo and for those who park and who work at the commercial space. So again, going back to the whole square peg around hole thing, that's what we're doing.
the hardship, though, that would be created by a multi-use.
That part's not an issue now, though. See,
Right,
it's just
right.
back to the.
But that's, do you guys see where I'm coming from here?
I think what Emily's alluding to is that,
Is that one
is the
begot
hardship
the
being
other?
created by the
Yes.
pole.
I got a question. So-
Yes.
So.
And that is the issue that I take with this approach. It seems a little squirrely to me.
So how big is the parking spots downtown? Do you know that answer? Or no?
I'd have to measure them, I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, we all don't drive Camrys, I'm just saying.
Hey, Joey, 9 feet by 18. There's some that are 9 feet by 20.
Okay.
They're all different kinds.
Well, I think they're bigger than that.
I marked them out. I anticipated this question, so I'll look it up.
Well, I don't know, my garage is 20 foot, my truck won't fit in it.
You got a big truck on now.
I do have a big truck.
You don't fit out here very well, once you park.
Yeah, I know, that's true, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Not everybody drives Camrys.
Sure.
Just a point.
that's true. I think the design, the reason, if I'm reading this right, is to make the flow. He can do it and make it work without this variance. But the development would be better for everyone, in my opinion, with the variance, because it would give a flow around the building. Your parking would be controlled better. The residents are going to always be there. The front, at night, there's probably not going to be any parking there anyway. So it's a lot of ways you can look at it. Okay, Ms. Lynn?
May I ask something, add something? I just Googled this, you know how phones are. Lynn Cole here. And it says U.S. standard accessible spaces for handicapped, 8 foot wide and 18 foot deep. So I think we're certainly, and I'm a partner with Philip on this development, and I would do nothing that would harm anything downtown. I'm all for condos. I have a partner who has done several condos over on the Blue Building. They're all for rent. I see, and I have a demand, people have a list of people who there is a demand for downtown condos. The condos on Main Street, the parking obviously is horrendous for those people. We have done everything I know to do to make this accessible for the commercial, that we have a great opportunity for somebody who wants to be in the bottom floor as an art studio gallery, feature Southern artist. I don't think the traffic flow is going to be astronomical there. They're looking at hopefully taking half of that space. The other two would be office spaces. But 2 condos upstairs. The hardship factor comes in, as we all know, when you have a minimum amount of space. You go to Murfreesboro, Nashville, I drive them all the time and show condos down there. And they're within their guidelines, but it's mighty tight. So this is a hardship for those residents, but it also opens up and corrects the problem that is perceived about parking and traffic, because with moving the structure a little bit one way and gaining on the backside helps the traffic flow for everybody on the street. So it is a hardship. It's not something we couldn't overcome, but it would be tough. It would make those residents upstairs think twice because of making the turn. But I wanted to give you the dimensions.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment on this? We want to give everyone ample time to. Does the board have any more questions or comments? Sean, do you have any more clarification on this?
As far as criteria A, it's not where it's a big slope lot or anything of that nature, which is more typical on a various requests like that. There is some with the roundness, and then corner lots always kind of have a, like I said, unique shapeness, but shapeness for the area because of where they're fitting in that double setback on the frontage on that. To Emily's point, and it's just, and for all of you, it's just going through and looking at that criteria, and does this meet the criteria, the intent of that criteria, and then doing it off of that. With that setback, again, the double frontage lots, a lot of times that setback is further, so you have that clear visibility for traffic flow through there, which would be maintained. I don't have any concern that having that little bit of a variance on that setback would push. The building's not going to be in the way, the parking of the cars would not be in the way that would block that view. And so taking into consent and having that better traffic flow kind of makes more sense on that setback.
Yeah, that
Looking
seems,
from the overall intent of it and
seems reasonable.
not resulting in negative effects on it. So.
I make a motion to approve the setback variance for the property.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? On this, I would suggest getting a good survey on this before you do anything. Get your corners marked proper, and then you won't be any question about the setbacks, because it could be a problem, since that is so crucial. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now, there will be a site plan on this.
That's being pulled in. I guess that's not something he didn't do now.
On, to the right, there will be a site plan on this. They might even tweak this just a little bit.
To make sure everything's met.
The lot is gonna be used for something. And if you've noticed Philip's work, he does excellent work on what he does. I mean, you can't question that. I wouldn't say that before the vote, but I will now. But anyway, do we have anything else come before the Board of Zoning?
I'm gonna be reaching out to everybody so we can get, here soon, our annual training scheduled, so that we can meet the state requirements of that. So we're gonna have to do 4 hours of training. I know it may be difficult for some of you or all of you. Would you prefer a single day trying to stuff that all in, or split up a couple 2-hour trainings, or
I'm with her on that 100%. That will be easier to schedule around, yeah.
Yes.
one day?
Just one day, yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
To get that set.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything
Yeah,
else.
motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second.
About that.
On the first side, motion carries. Okay. We are adjourned.
gavel, Jerry.